Good afternoon. My name is Alexandra and I'm a lecturer at Greenside Design Center, or GDC. I teach theory to interior design students year 1 and 2, a subject called Critical Studies, or CS, part of the requirements for completion of a bachelor's degree. I've been teaching theory for the last 6 years or so, and from the first year I realized that the traditional way of lecture delivery did not work. So I started asking questions, wanted to know more specifically what I could change and or improve to not only become a better lecturer, but have a better experience in my own classroom, both myself and for my students. Initially, I started making small changes based on what other lecturers in the same situation as me have experienced and have already applied. Here, I would like to extend a special thanks to GDC in supporting this venture from the very beginning. I saw immediate results, mostly with improved student engagement. I then decided to formalize the research and capture the findings, and here I am presenting to you. I will now share my presentation with you. I'm here to talk to you about interior design education, more specifically teaching theory to interior design students. With the added challenge of the fourth industrial revolution and circumstances we are currently facing that are already changing the academic world. The question we've been asking, how do advancements in technology affect teaching and learning in a world of fast development and infinite possibilities? More important, how do we adapt our current methods of lecture delivery in order to empower and support a future generation of leaders and proactive citizens? Also, how do private education institutions remain competitive within an unstable market of retaining their students whilst offering courses that are now widely available, accessible, and often more affordable in our present-day digital world? Traditional method of education practices assumes students as vessels that passively accumulate and memorize information. However, we should rather strive for democracy in our education, where teachers and students work together and students are equally valued. Educators, in this case, encourage students to self-reflect and understand their position in society in order to become active drivers for social change. We should be focusing on alternative pedagogies and especially on learning rather than teaching. One such pedagogy is critical theory in higher education. Critical theory is concerned with matters of inequality and oppression and strives towards achieving social change in an effort to build a more equitable world. Unfortunately, in education, we have continued to re-establish the same kind of circumstances that critical theorists question, and insufficient progress has been made. According to the authors, we need to reconsider both the curriculum and ways of teaching. This research focuses on lecture delivery. More importantly, critical thinking, lifelong and independent learning. According to some of the experts, that can be achieved via collaborative learning or reciprocal peer tutoring or RPT. Collaborative learning can be recognized in both peer and tutor interactions. RPT is a kind of collaborative learning which aims at gaining knowledge and skills whilst working in smaller peer groups. What is important to establish is the two very important roles, that of the tutor but also the student. We should also be focusing on research-based education and the importance of research in higher education in helping to develop competent professionals of the future. By learning about research, students become proficient in problem solving and making sound judgments based on evidence. In other words, research cannot be made exclusive to students who only want to pursue a career in academics. Also, people learn best by doing, and given students real-life problems closely related to various communities can also prove beneficial. So we should be working together with students in a student-staff partnership and focusing on research-based education and real-life community issues. Research-based education also involves critical thinking and helps students cope with the challenges and make decisions in the real world. Both research-based education and student-staff partnership increase student ambition, inspiration, and self-assurance. Both research-based education and partnership question traditional education methods and the relationship between staff and students. Staying critical at all times remains important, especially in a world overwhelmed by information. Mistakes remain part of the process and even prove essential to learning. Student-staff partnerships are seen as beneficial to both parties. Pertinent issues: creating a graduate population that is intelligent, confident, independent, thinking, and employable. Moving from teaching to learning, where lecturers are seen as facilitators of learning. Students are active participants in their own education. Critical thinking, radical pedagogy, research equals teaching, student-staff partnership, RPT, collaborative and reciprocal tutoring, and all of the above within a hybrid learning environment. As the world is moving towards the fourth industrial revolution and perhaps even enforced by the current pandemic, education has been compelled to make changes and adapt to a hybrid learning environment. How do we ensure that educators adapt their lecture delivery methods in order to reflect those changes and provide an environment for their students that is critical, engaging, and stimulating? The paper focuses on the theory subject of CS as a potential forerunner in investigating and potentially implementing changes. The research question is how to encourage student interaction and engagement within a hybrid learning environment by applying teamwork, collaborative, and RPT and student-staff partnership. The importance of developing critical thinking skills and independence of thought remains paramount throughout the process. Aims: to explore and critique collaborative learning methods and RPT within a hybrid learning environment of a private design college. To identify ways in which student-staff partnership and collaborative learning can be implemented successfully within a hybrid learning environment of a private design college, to further investigate the potential connection between student engagement and class interaction within a hybrid learning environment that encourages collaborative learning and student-staff partnership. The focus of the research is on the practical and case study approach of teaching theory to ID students in a private college environment. The research relies on developing pilot lectures with a focus on student-staff partnership, collaborative and RPT learning that are applied to first and second year ID students taking the theory subject of CS. The pilot lectures are directly informed and developed from interviews with colleagues, preliminary focus groups with students, and secondary research. Over the course of one academic year, 2022, pilot lectures are implemented and data is collected. At the end of each term in 2022, a student survey and a focus group with students are conducted. Parallel to the above, the researcher aims to conduct class observations in order to identify certain patterns of behavior, such as participation in class discussions and display of critical thinking. A colleague who teaches third year interior design has agreed to participate in the study by applying the pilot lectures, student surveys, and focus groups at the end of each term. That may provide a sense of objectivity to the study and maybe another angle that may not be observed by the researcher. The proposed methods of this research proposal are inherently qualitative. In conclusion, the approach of the Fourth Industrial Revolution offers unprecedented opportunities in many professional and non-professional spheres. One such affected industry is tertiary education. With the continuous pressure from industry for more proactive, critically thinking, and employable graduates, we as educators need to ask the question, are we still providing the best learning environment and hybrid platform for our learners? The presentation is a proposal for further research in the sphere of interior design education in a private college environment, with a focus on student-staff partnership and collaborative and RPT learning within the theory subject of CS. The aim of the study is to come up with strategies that will support students and staff within a hybrid learning environment. I thank you for your attention, and I do welcome any questions and input or comments you may have. Thank you.